In the world of Persona, a select few individuals possess the power to break free from the chains that bind them and summon what is known as a persona. Even fewer have the ability known as the wild card, allowing them to wield multiple personas at once. Welcome to the Persona Compendium, where we're going to be covering the history and symbolism of some of the franchise's most notable shadows, demons, and personas. Today we're going to have a look at one of the strangest personas from the main cast, Makoto's Johanna. For those unfamiliar, Johanna is Makoto's Tier 1 persona. It appears before her in Kanashiro's palace and gives us our first look at a rather strange persona. Unlike the other personas that take life in a more humanoid form, Johanna takes the form of a massive blue motorcycle, with a large face in the windshield. But this awakening really just brings up more questions than it answers, such as, why the name Johanna? What's up with the blue color scheme? And most importantly, why the hell is it a bike? To understand these questions, it would probably be best to look into the inspiration behind this persona, the illusory Pope Joan. Now, Pope Joan represents an interesting blurred point between reality and fiction. Legend has it that Pope Joan was a woman who famously cross-dressed as a man in order to fool the clergy of the time and serve as pope so that she could be closer with her lover in faith. For many years, this tale was thought to be fact, but modern historians are less convinced. Fact or fiction, however, this tale remains one of cultural relevance, as it continues to be a popular point of discussion even to this day. But not all personas are based on true accounts. As it so happens, many personas of the main cast are either entirely fictional or lean heavily into the sensationalized aspects of their history. For examples of this, check out my videos on Futaba's Necronomicon and Ryuji's Captain Kid. And while you're at it, you may as well consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. I mean, it helps me out, lets you stay up to date on these videos, and it's free, so there's really no reason not to. So, now that you've totally subscribed and everything, let's get into the nitty-gritty. And where better to start than having a brief look at the visuals? When it comes to personas of the main cast, Johanna may just be the most unique. While each persona has its own flair that distinguishes it from others, very few actually shake up the form factor as much as Johanna does. As is obvious, Johanna is literally a motorcycle, so that right there sets it apart from pretty much every other persona from the main party. And honestly, that's kind of fitting for Makoto, but we can get into that in a bit. Unlike other personas where we can take things from the top and work our way down, discussing little details hidden in their clothing, like Arsene's Victorian-inspired outfit, or the details like the lettering on Goemon's outer layers, Johanna is just a motorcycle, so it's a bit hard to bake a reference into its design. For the most part, it's literally just a blue bike. However, it is hiding some clever details that allude to its evolved form a knot. As we can see in this image from the concept art book, each part of the body on Johanna was carefully considered before transformation to a knot, and all parts are accounted for. It's similar to picking out obvious car pieces on a transformer, except for here, they're actually accounted for. The only other real trait worth any mention here is the massive face on the front of the bike. This, of course, is the face of the persona, and due to that, it's likely meant to represent the undercover Pope Joan. And with that, we can begin to see where the devs were going. At a glance, you may look at Johanna and find it quite dull or unassuming when compared to other similar personas. I mean, hell, I did, and I literally do nothing but sit at my computer and stare at these things for fun. But sitting and looking at the persona over and over has always begged the question, why the hell is it a motorcycle? It seems that very little is known about the choice to make Johanna a bike, and perhaps until the developers discuss this decision in detail, that's where the question will remain. But if I may offer my own speculation, I think we can piece together some clues that point towards an answer. While many have expressed confusion and befuddlement over Johanna's status as a bike, I would argue that it kind of fits right in. I posit that Johanna is meant to represent Joan as the Pope, cruising around unnoticed by the masses. After all, from a side view or a quick glance, the thing barely even looks like a persona. I find this to be a clever nod to the Pope's double life. Only when she transforms are we privy to both Johanna's and the Pope's true nature. In legend, this moment came when Pope Joan gave birth during a procession. Shortly afterwards, she soon met her fate, either through natural causes or at the hands of angry clergymen. Different accounts tell conflicting narratives on this one. Now I hear you typing, but why a bike specifically, and not some other disguise? And I think there are actually a couple of reasons for this. For starters, an in-lore reason could be that at the time of her awakening, Makoto is the only member of the Phantom Thieves who can legally drive. And over the course of the series, driving is something that we see her doing somewhat frequently. Another reason could be that it took inspiration from famous pop culture works like Transformers, which have become a global icon for their unassuming nature that hides a more powerful alter ego. But the references don't just end in the visuals. To really find the depth in this persona, we need to look into its moveset, as it is there that we can begin to form a solid connection between the persona and its user. Johanna makes an excellent addition to the party, as she brings so much to the table. When you first recruit Makoto, it feels like you've gotten something absolutely busted, because Johanna just excels in all areas. Its moveset moveset is comprised of nuke attacks, defense buffs, and even a bit of healing magic on the side. At this point in the game, it almost makes Makoto a must-have party member simply because she's able to cover so much at once. Her nuke attacks are rarely blocked or absorbed at this point in the story, and will stay potent for quite some time. On top of that, she's able to learn all the way up to Atomic Flare, the most damaging nuke spell in the game. For reference, many other party members can only learn up to the heavy damage variation of their elemental skill. But more than damage, she can also provide support via healing spells and stat modifiers, making her an excellent all-arounder. The reason all of this is important is that the moveset was specifically crafted to fit Makoto's responsible and adaptable personality in the game. During the day-to-day school life sections, Makoto is always doing her best to do the right thing, whether it be get good grades in her classes, helping the principal with what is effectively a criminal investigation, or just keep things civil between her and her sister. She always feels a need to be responsible and level-headed. This quality doesn't go away once she awakens either, as once she joins the Phantom Thieves, she almost takes on the role of the mom friend. She's always looking out for other members of the group and frequently has to act as the voice of reason in more emotional points of the story. This well-balanced moveset is her own form of responsible rebellion, and I think that's where the true brilliance of this persona actually lies. While Johanna may be a particularly confusing persona, I think that there is really no better fit for Makoto. Between the clever callbacks to Pope Joan and its disguised status, and the inventive moveset that clues us into Makoto's personality outside of the metaverse, it seems that there really could be no better fit for her. While we may never know the true meaning behind it being a bike, I think with the inferences that we've covered today, we can at least get close to what the devs were thinking. And to be completely honest, I like it better that way. As much fun as it is to be able to know everything 100%, Johanna represents something that I love so much about Persona 5, in that it lets you do the research for yourself and come to your own conclusion. Many of the personas and lore concepts are never fully explained, but the information is out there so long as you're willing to look, and for someone like me, there's no greater joy than finding your own conclusion like we did today. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video, and before you click off, I have some important news to share. First, I just want to genuinely thank all of you for waiting for this video, and I want to say that I'm not sure what uploads are going to look like going forward. What with the move and everything, my production cycle has taken a bit of a hit, and I'm not afforded as much regular free time as I used to be. I'm gonna try and continue with weekly uploads, but there may be times when that isn't possible, and I just want to let you guys know. Considering that, it would help me a ton if you guys would continue to like and subscribe to all these videos, as they take a bit of time to make. And the only way that I can continue to do that is with the support of people like you. So to anyone watching this, new or old, I really just want to say, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.